Looking for a cosmic adventure like no other? Zatswan, Multiversal Guardian is a high-stakes comic book journey through the multiverse with stunning art and an unforgettable hero. Get your copy today in ebook and paperback formats. Link in the description.
Hello everybody, I am Neil Allen, the creator of the cosmic fantasy comic series Zatswan Multiversal Guardian. You can purchase the graphic novel on Amazon in the link in the description. It's a 130-page graphic novel that you can read it for free if you have Kindle Unlimited. Or if you don't, you can purchase the digital copy for a mere $2.99. So that is 130 full color pages for less than the price of a 20-page floppy comic from DC or Marvel, which those things are going for, I believe, around $5 typically these days, which is outrageous. So I wanted to keep Zatswan very accessible to people. Like, I do want people to read the book, and honestly, there is no good reason for the consumer why a digital copy should be priced like what Marvel and DC sell those things for. So I just sell mine for $2.99 to make it easy for you guys to get. So please check that out, and if you do, leave me reviews. It's good for me to know what you think about the book, and it helps others find it. So we are going to be talking about more Zatswan today. I am working on a new cover for the book because I liked the old cover. It is a really interesting picture that gives, an idea of the story and like what it's about and what's going on, but I felt that the characters on the cover were too small. So now I'm creating another picture that gives the characters more attention, because another thing you have to consider is that I'm primarily selling this on Amazon.com, and it's got to look good in thumbnail size. So I wanted to enlarge because that's oftentimes the first thing that potential buyers will see. They'll see your picture at a reduced size. So I wanted to make sure that the characters were easy to distinguish, or at least easier to distinguish at thumbnail size. So we are working on the characters Zatswan, also known as A.C. Cooper, that's his regular person name, and his love interest, Princess Allecka Xona. And it's a bit, they, I would say, are the main leads of the book who are really driving the story. So I'm going to focus on them, and as I said, they are each other's love interests, and I'm going to read another short review for Zatswan Multiversal Guardian from Amazon. I like to reply to these because to me, I see this as like the modern day mailbag that comic books used to have. They used to have these like mail sections that, for me, if I liked the comic, I liked reading them to see what other people thought. And I find that people are still talking about comic books, but the creators are not interacting with them in really appreciable ways. Like, I know they frequently have Twitter accounts, but oftentimes they're still kind of hard to reach, or they don't leave really good replies. That's a common thing. So in those old mailbag days, they used to leave more, they would often, the editors or whoever would leave pretty thoughtful replies. So that's what's missing today. So I would like to leave some replies to people, to create a dialogue. So this review, the title is original, and the person gives it 4 out of 5 stars, the comic, and they go on to write, Zatswan completely pulled me in. The story is full of energy with great world building and a main character who feels fresh and relatable. The art is colorful, the action scenes are very cool, and the mix of sci-fi, fantasy, and romance makes it stand out from other superhero stories. It's clear a lot of heart went into this. I liked it and can't wait to see where the story goes next. So that's the end of the review. So what stood out to me in particular was this person saying that the mix of sci-fi, fantasy, and romance makes it stand out from other superhero stories. So I would actually like to talk more about, the romance aspect of Zatswan while you're seeing me construct this cover on your screens. So the romance hook of Zatswan, I would say, is that our character, A.C. Cooper, before we are even introduced to him, he is having these very vivid dreams of this woman on a regular basis. Like, he's having a life with this woman. He seems to be under the belief that he's married to her. And he actually does not dislike the dreams because, he actually feels the love and the affection and support. He's actually feeling that within his dreams. And even though it is a dream, it feels like it's a real thing. So it's kind of like he's in love with this woman whom he has never actually met in the real world. But at the same time, he doesn't get too carried away with it. Yes, he feels that way, but he recognizes that they are just dreams, and he pretty much leaves it at that and goes on with his life. So, and this is all going on even before we meet him. These are like regularly recurring dreams he's having of this mysterious woman. So then anyway, other weird stuff happens to him when we actually get into his story. He's offered these powers from a fourth dimensional tesseract and offered the opportunity to become this cosmic peacekeeper called Zatswan, where this is a group of, it's like a force of individuals who keeps peace across various realities in the multiverse. That's their job, and he's invited to join it. So he chooses to do so, and he's soon thrust into this multiversal conflict. The Zatswan are based in a realm called Zodos, and they have opposition from people based in a realm called Atarax. And the Zodosian forces, the Zatswan, are soon caught in a big battle against Ataraxians. And through this conflict, A.C. Cooper comes he encounters Allecka, the princess of the Ataraxians, which is the force that he is opposed to, since he is Zatswan. And this woman looks exactly like the woman he's dreamed about this whole time, and he's like flabbergasted by this. He doesn't know what to make of it. He's dreamed of this woman. He has these feelings for this woman, kind of by default because he's dreamed of her so much. He doesn't know what this means. He doesn't exactly know how she feels about it because we don't really get into her head. In the comic, she is a prominent character that's around, but we don't actually see what she's thinking, what she knows, and things like that. So A.C. Cooper encounters Allecka, and tries to figure out where to go from there. She is on paper supposed to be his enemy since they're on two different sides of multiversal conflict. And that's where he comes into this duty versus, the heart type of thing. What do you do? And, that's like something that AC struggles with. He tries to figure out, is Allecka really that bad? Are the Ataraxians really that bad? Or are his feelings getting in the way? So, that's one of the things that I wanted to highlight, because I realized that when you have this sort of star-crossed, fated lovers type of deal, a relationship can feel potentially like unearned, like the characters may already have feelings for each other, that it seems like you can get past the whole them coming to have feelings for each other state. You can sort of bypass seeing their feelings develop if they already, through some sort of fate type of thing, already have, feelings for each other. So I wanted to add different sort of conflict here. The conflict being, okay, so let's say you find your dream girl or something like that. is it really that simple? Do you just jump into a happy functioning relationship with them, or are there all these other obstacles that could potentially get in the way of that? So the obstacle here is that they are on two opposing sides of a massive multiversal conflict. AC Cooper is Zatswan, who is fighting for the Zodosian side. Princess Allecka is the princess of the Ataraxian side. So again, on paper, they should be against each other. How do they reconcile all of this? How do they reconcile all these differences that they have? And that's, where the story comes in, and that's like the conflict point of the story. Can they reconcile it? Is it even a good idea to reconcile it? Just because you may find your dream girl, maybe that works in your dreams, but does it work in the real world? And also, there's this mystery of what does all of this even mean? So, okay, you found this girl you've been dreaming about. What are the portents of that? What are the portents of these dreams? What do they mean? And these are things that AC Cooper is trying to figure out. He doesn't know what they mean, and again, we have to read the story to see what Allecka knows, what she thinks about all of this. I don't want to spoil it. Those are all things that are, within the comic book. So that's kind of the hook of the AC Cooper Allecka romance, so a lot of mystery. That's one of the things I've also heard from people saying that the comic leaves them wanting to read more just to figure out what's happening. There's quite a bit of mystery in Zatswan, and one of the biggest mysteries is what do these dreams that AC Cooper is having even mean? They seem to have some portents, but what is that? Does Allecka have the same dreams? Again, we have to read and find out. So one of the interesting things too, I think, is that I focused probably more on the the romance is one of the things that makes the story stand out. I think I probably focused more on the romantic aspect of the character than a lot of other superhero comics would. Some people have likened Zatswan to Green Lantern, but one thing that I found is quite different between Zatswan and Green Lantern is actually this romance element of it. And it's not just that there is romance, it's also just the tone of the thing. Zatswan, I would not say is a romance, but I did want to highlight that, as a point in the story to where it made a difference, because one of the big inspirations I have, and you might even be able to tell this just from looking at the art and the character designs, is when I was a little kid I would watch Sailor Moon, and Sailor Moon was so it appealed to me on a couple different areas. It was still this colorful action cartoon with these cool character designs and interesting superhero conflict, but it was quite a bit different than other stuff I was used to seeing at the time. It seemed to have more sentimentality, seemed to be more about feeling, and not just kind of brainless action. Seemed to be more about its characters, and not just the threat. And all those things really, made it this is a different sort of thing. And I will use the English dub character names just to avoid confusion. I was this is kind of a different sort of cartoon than I was used to watching, and what really made me really notice that was when they were focusing on this relationship between Nephlite and one of the main bad guys on the show, and one of Sailor Moon's best friends, Molly. And I'm we actually saw a character arc where Nephlite started, because of his feelings for Molly and his growing closer to her, started to kind of see he started to sort of turn good. Well, he started to sort of turn better, and I'm this is pretty fascinating. Again, I wasn't, as a little kid, wasn't used to seeing this sort of character depth, these sorts of character arcs, or this sort of relationship building among characters in my action cartoon shows in the day. And I was like, wow, that like actually, the story of like Nephlite, who is my favorite character on that show, like left a big impression on me. And, you know, it somehow resonated to me that the story here, the cartoon show, isn't just about this villain of the week type of things that say a Power Rangers, even though I know that's not a cartoon show, but still, if you're watching Sailor Moon in the day, you're probably familiar with Power Rangers too. It wasn't something like a Power Rangers or like some of the older shows like a G.I. Joe where, yes, the characters mattered, you know, like yes, you liked the characters, but ultimately it was just about this threat and this adventure. No, this Sailor Moon was about something, it was deeper, like the characters mattered more, their arcs mattered more, they had feelings, they actually, you know, you saw them grow as characters, and as I was like, wow. So that's one of the big things, like going back to the Green Lantern connection, that separates like a Zatswan from a Green Lantern. Yes, there are certain things in Zatswan that borrow from Green Lantern, like the this idea of this peacekeeping, you know, core, like the Green Lantern core in Zatswan, but where Green Lantern what Green Lantern often did, we can use like the famous Jeff Johns run of Green Lantern, you know, it was this bro-ish type of thing that was, it focused like big on the actual threat, you know what I mean? But it didn't seem to have like that sentimentality, that character development, that relationship building. It was not all the way there in terms of feeling, you know what I mean? And I won't say that's inherently a bad thing, but it's something that I noticed, and it was something like, okay, there were some things that were cool that I liked about this, but I also see there are things that are missing, you know, so I introduced that kind of more Sailor Moon type of element to it. I kept the big multiverse shattering threats. I kept and even increased the action. Like the action in Zatswan is pretty intense. I increased that, but what I also included was, you know, that more sentimental, thought-provoking, introspective element. And I made the characters a bit more fragile. Again, not this bro-ish, no fear type of thing, because that didn't, I see the appeal of it, but it didn't really, you know, resonate too much with me. These characters have doubts, these characters, you know, wonder if they're doing the right thing. That's a big thing with A.C. Cooper. And of course they have feelings. There are their feelings coming in the way of what is right, what they should be doing. That's like one of, you know, the big hooks of Zatswan. So it's not just about the threat, it's about the characters. And that's one of the things I borrowed from, you know, things like Sailor Moon, you know, that I kind of took inspiration from. But we are coming to the end of this cover. It was fun to do. As you see, I did the majority of it with, the coloring was done with Chart Pack AD markers, which stand for Art and Design. And, you know, I inked it by hand. Really fun. So this is the new cover for Zatswan Multiversal Guardian. I didn't talk too much about my artistic process, but we did, you know, see it while I was talking about, you know, the characters. And I actually do like this cover a bit more. It kind of gives you that sort of, you know, feeling, that sort of romantic, operatic type of thing with the characters, while, you know, showcasing the multiversal theme with this kind of dimensional swirl, and those little balls are like universes. So let me know what you think about this artwork and about the characters in the comments below. Be sure to check out Zatswan Multiversal Guardian on Amazon in the link in the description. Pick it up. Again, if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's essentially free. And stay tuned for more content. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to all of you again very soon. And until then, take care.